much energy. Put in your booby rocks. Live your best life. Keep doing you. So much energy. Let's stick together with some high kicks. Bow, bow.
Jen, what do a dog and a cell phone have in common?
They both like to go out of range.
They both have caller ID.
Jeffy, why is turning 32 the fastest birthday?
Turning 32 the fastest?
Yeah.
Don't
because
know.
It's the 32nd birthday. 32nd! Like in a second? Oh, man.
Yeah, I get
Woo! It. You got me. You need another dad joke there? I got this box of cheesy jokes. It's pretty great. What do you call a wolf that notices everything?
A wolf that notices everything.
Everything. A werewolf.
Oh. Oh.
Stupid. All right, Jeffy and everybody else, welcome to this episode of So Much Energy. It's episode 202. 202. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oh, I was waiting for you to introduce me.
All right, so episode 202. I'm Jenny McKinney, and I'm here with Jeff Jones.
Jen, thanks for having me. It is episode 202, I believe.
Yes, 202. That's so
think
crazy.
so.
Two is my favorite number. 22 is really my favorite number.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, Jeffy, we got a great episode.
You know what's funny about 22, though, is like, you know what it always reminds me of is that bingo when they call I-22.
Oh.
And they always go, and then there's always like 3 or 4 ladies in the bingo hall that'll be like, tutu, tutu.
Oh, they
tutu.
say that? Oh, tutu?
Yep.
Oh,
tutu.
like a tutu?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I was just thinking about bingo the other day.
I miss bingo. I miss playing bingo.
Yeah, dang. Didn't we talk about this before when people just like to share their life story for no reason with you?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that happens to you at parties, but
It does happen at
to me.
parties.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Well, I was just going to share. I had it happen to me this weekend. I donated blood. And I get up to the 3rd floor, elevator opens, no one's at the desk. And I know they're all around the corner just BSing. So I just poked my head around the corner. I waited for a minute and nobody came out. And I peeked around the corner. I'm like, do you want my blood or not? She's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm just messing with you. Too many crabby people in the world. She said, and then it was almost like an invitation of like, what were you talking about? Because then she shared that she was married for 4 years, love of her life. He's a DJ for a country station here. Found out he was freebasing cocaine out of the basement.
Oh.
Oh.
How'd she find out? Any idea?
Well, I guess he got fired from his
Okay.
DJ at the country station job. And she didn't know why, but then he started sleeping downstairs all the time. And then she came downstairs and then found his drug paraphernalia. And she had no idea, which I don't know how you would think if somebody's on freebasing cocaine, which is essentially crack.
Hello.
Don't worry about you, just unexpected 25-minute intermission.
Jen, what's the cleanest kind of dog there is? Shampoodle.
Don't try to church it up now. You've been missing.
You know, as soon as I carried my computer down here, I thought, oh, I got to grab the cord. And then when I got down here, I was surprised that the computer was still on. Only because it hasn't been plugged in for days. And then I figured out, I brought it down, was going to go get the cord, plug it in, because it takes a minute to get its stuff together. And then I was like, oh, it's on. And then I ran back upstairs anyways to get the cord because I was going to need it. And I ended up getting a glass of water and sucked into a story by the oldest kid. And then, yeah, never grabbed the cord. And as soon as I seen that screen come on, I thought, oh,
this was your face. Oh, he is sick of this story.
I was thinking this is going to take a bit because I know it takes it a while to get its shit together.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Pick up where you
Yeah, so I was just saying that if you're freebasing cocaine out of the basement, which is essentially crack.
It's different than crack.
Is it?
Kinda.
Oh, well, anyways, wouldn't somebody know that? I
feel like cocaine's kind of classy.
I don't know.
Crack just seems like it's not.
Whack. I don't know. So she was sharing that with me, and I'm like, a country station DJ? Like,
I know. Who would have thought he could even afford that?
Yeah, so then I was laughing, even just today, thinking, I mean, that's a terrible situation, but I was laughing at the thought of, like, do DJ stereotypes have, like, a genre? You know what I mean? Like, don't you feel like heavy metal DJs or video Js or, like, you know what I mean?
DJs,
whatever Js.
Right.
Yeah. Wouldn't they just have, like, a harder persona, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, you would think so.
Like, what would be the expectation for country DJ?
Probably drinking whiskey. You assume he just probably slams whiskey. Probably drinking while he's on air. Rip-jawed. You know what
Smoking
I mean?
weed like Willie Nelson.
I don't know I really don't associate country people with weed.
Oh. Would you consider him more rock?
Who, Willie Nelson?
Yeah.
Well, I consider Willie Nelson country for sure. But I mean, besides Willie, I mean, I don't know how many other of them smoke weed.
Gotcha. I don't know. I just was laughing at the stereotype, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Just was like, what? And you know what's even crazier? I don't want to say the station, but I had just found that station. So I went to donate blood on Saturday, and I just found that station on Thursday because I forgot my phone. Right. And I was just flipping through radio stations, and I'm like, what? I didn't even know this was a country station. And then she mentioned it on Saturday. I was like, whoops. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wondered like how she found out because I didn't know like if like he came clean and said, look, I have an addiction, or if she caught him, or if she noticed money was missing.
I think she found his stuff in the basement.
Okay.
Oops.
It's funny that you'd mentioned that because I'd worked with a guy who he'd gotten fired from a job. And he was still leaving the house every day. Like he was going to work.
My God. And
but
he was not working.
He was going fishing because he could not bring himself to tell his wife that he had been fired. And oddly enough, he then finally, about 2 weeks, I think he did that for about 2 weeks. And then eventually he got like a job lead and then went and interviewed for a job. And when he had gotten that job is when he had told his wife, hey, just so you know, blah. But then
we didn't have any income for a few weeks.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think he got through the first week or two by saying there was like an office error type thing.
Oh, no.
Something
Which
like
is
that.
Lie. That's even worse, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
but when he did tell her that he got a different job, he didn't tell her that he hadn't been working for those 2 weeks.
Oh.
That's why he waited till he got a job. Then he cushioned, hey, just so you know, I got fired. But I believe he made it sound like on my way home, I swung by here, and now I'm going to start there tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
boy.
Who knows?
Yikes. Lies in marriage. That does not work. Oh, man.
No, they eventually divorced. Not because of that. I don't know really what the reason there was, but yeah.
Dang. Well, if anyone listens to Dateline, I listen to Dateline a few times a week. And if you haven't listened to the recent episode, you want to exit now and then come back later. But the Dateline premise of this week is just thinking of the lies that you would tell your wife or husband, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this guy gets killed. He was a gay miner, okay? Like miner in the mines. Like he used to be a hairstylist, and then he decided he wanted to work in the mines because he made like 6 figures or maybe a lot more money.
Like digging in the ground.
Underground miner.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
And so he just didn't fit in, right? I mean, with that lifestyle, he didn't fit in. And so he ends up getting murdered. And then, twist, the best friend came over with his wife, found him. The wife is distraught. His daughter was with him. He brought his daughter, and then they all found him. And then after some digging, the cops find out him and his best friend were actually having an affair, and he was supposed to leave his wife, and the guy told him, if you don't leave your wife, I'm telling her about us, and then he killed her.
So that he went and tell the wife.
Yep. So he just brought his whole family to find their best friend of the family.
Pretty much yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah,
that was so terrible. And then, well, first of all, for the wife to find out like he was having an affair with his best friend, you know what I mean? That rocks your world. And then, lies. Yeah. Don't tell lies, people.
No.
Shoot, that just backfires.
Yeah, what good is going to come of it? And the problem is that then you got to keep up the lie. Even if it's just a minuscule lie.
Yeah.
At some point, if it's ever brought up again.
Right.
Like, that's one reason, like, I feel like I always try to tell the truth because it's just easier to remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you tell a lie, even a small one, then all of a sudden, like, you got to remember that.
Right.
And if that's brought up, like, down the road or by somebody who heard from somebody, and then all of a sudden you're like, what?
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't even remember. You know what I mean?
Telling the lie, and then you're like, what?
No, that's not true.
I didn't say that.
Why would I have
and
done
then
that?
That's a lie. Because then you did say it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
it's just easier if you tell the truth. It's just easier it's easier to stick to the story.
Yeah. I feel like you should get a pass, though, if, like, it's a surprise or,
well,
you know what I mean?
There are
like,
exceptions. For sure.
That's what I would.
If there's ever like a surprise, then that's an exception to kind of make stuff up.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I wanted to share, this is a little pick me up here. I saw this little article. It says, not all heroes wear capes. And the article says, Wisconsin man throws beer bottle at bartender when she changes Black Sabbath to Christmas music.
Oh, you gotta stand for something, Jen. It's good.
You just don't turn off Black Sabbath and replace it with Christmas music.
When did this article come? That's what I was gonna say. When did this article? Is that like a newer story?
Just recent.
Okay, so it's way too early to be turning on. Yes, no.
Yeah,
I believe that gentleman was in the right.
Even he looks confused. Can you see him? He's like
still in his mugshot. He's still like, I don't get why she did that.
He's like, what?
Why am I here?
What side are you on? What happened? Like. Oh, man, that's funny.
Did you hear the full story?
Yeah. One side note I wanted to add, too. I just wanted to throw this out there. And it's not a yay me. It's more of a PSA, I guess I would call it.
Okay.
I've been buying Gatorade and keeping them in the fridge for our UPS drivers. Because I feel like, I don't know, like, hey, do you want to, especially in the summer, I'm always like, hey, do you need some water? Do you need a drink? We got to stay hydrated. I will say this. I bought 10 single Gatorades, like the bigger ones, and no matter what flavor it is, I give it to the driver, and they are so excited, and they start drinking it right then.
Oh.
So I just wanted to say, I don't know if I just have thirsty UPS drivers, but I just wanted to say if you had a drink, a legal drink to offer them, then maybe you should do that. I'm just saying. They're out there working hard, getting your packages to you the next day.
Right.
Yeah. And FedEx. And all the other delivery people, too. I'm just saying it happened to be UPS.
Tip your drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do always ask, like, hey, can I get you something? You want a Gatorade? And they're always like, oh, man, that'd be so great.
Oh, yeah. Vodka tonic?
Yeah. No. One time I gave the guy a liquid death, and he was like, what? And I was like, no, it's just water. It's just a can of water. Looks like a drink. It's just canned water. I felt real fancy giving him that one because those are expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about that on here. I think you got that at a concert or something too before.
Yeah. Yeah. When the lady thought I was drunk.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Liquid Death. Check it out. Their merch is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. You should check it out.
Liquid Death.
Liquid Death. All right, Jeffy. Do you want to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and talk about psychic readings and connections, and then your energy and how it affects others.
All right, that'll work.
Okay, see you in a minute.
See ya.
Make sure you come back this time. Plug it in. Plug it in.
It's plugged in. Today's episode of So Much Genergy is brought to you by dogs, man's best friend. If you are lucky enough to share your life and house with a dog, just know that they love you unconditionally. From the time you leave the house until you come back, your dog has not just waited for your return, but they have gotten excited at every car door noise since, thinking it was you. They greet you when you get home because they have looked forward to it all day. Please take a few minutes when you see them to let them know how much they mean to you. Dogs, gotta love them. This episode is also brought to you by cats. What can be said about these animals that they won't hold against us? Cats, constantly watching, judging some more. Almost makes you want to leave the house just a little more, just to put some space between you and their spiteful glares. Then when you return, it's like being shaken down by an overbearing landlord. Sheesh, who needs this kind of rejection? Cats, nature's landlords.
That's funny. I had a question recently that said, how would you convert somebody from, like, if they were a cat lover, how would you convert them over to, being a dog person? And my last statement was, even the dogs work with cops. You ever seen a cop cat? I said that.
I don't know. I love coming home and my dogs are so excited to see you. And even there's times where I'm at work and I just know that, like, right now my dog's just sitting there staring at the door and, like, every noise that goes by or car that goes by, I just know that they're like, is that them? Is that him?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Right.
Is that him? And then as soon as I walk in the door, they get so psyched and not like jump on you psyched, but they come and like walk up to you all waggling and wiggling and then lean into you. Like that's their way of hugging. Because I'll always pet them on the side or pet their back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love it when I come home and they're just so psyched to see you. And I'm like, man, like I know they've waited all day just for me to come home and just pet 'em, just to pay a little bit of attention and pet them.
When Josh gets home, they Linus and Cora run down there full blast, and then Josh will pet Cora, and then he has to pet Linus, and then she gets mad, so he'll, like, to be funny, he'll push her away, and then she starts barking at him like, no, you pay attention to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had cats, too, before, but, like, then when you get home and you're, like, looking for the cat, and they're usually, like, pooping in the box, and they stare at you, and then they just walk around, and then they'll sit between you and, like, the TV.
Yeah.
Just look back over their shoulder at you like, oh.
What are you going to do?
It's like, you're not tall enough to be in my way, but at the same time, like, why you got to sit there and act like that?
Right. What are you mad about, bro? You just had all day to yourself.
Right. I try to pet you, and you're like, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Like,
God bless. Good times with the pets.
I know.
Oh, one last side note about the pets. Our neighbors just got a miniature donkey. It's just a little jackass. Just a little jackass.
Hilarious.
It's a little tiny jackass.
Nice. We got 2 donkeys down the road from us.
Do you? Regular size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just regular donkeys.
Yeah.
Farm down the road has them. They're great, though. You go walk by the fence, it's just like you think. They laugh.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. It's hilarious.
That's funny. All right, Jeffy. So I want to talk today about, like, psychic mediumship and connections. And so I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking, because I've been doing more mediumship in a practice circle and psychic readings in a practice circle. Also, if you're interested, we do practice circle on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you'd like to sit, so it's called a sitter. If you want to sit, I mean, you can stand. I stand. But if you would like to sit for the group, sometimes we do gallery style readings. Sometimes we do one-on-one. Sometimes we do breakout. Sometimes we do games. So, but it really just helps the group, like, hone in on their gifts.
Is it all over Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to me and I can get you the link. There's nothing that you really have to do. You just have to validate at the end. It's yes or no. And then that's really it. But it's super helpful for the group to get more practice. Yeah. So I had somebody ask, what is it like when I connect to spirit to hear things? And really, it's so crazy because it's like having 2 conversations at once, but you try to you're almost trying to like hone one out. Like like if you're in a crowded room and you're just focusing on the one person in front of you, that's how it is.
Gotcha.
And so if somebody is like, if I'm doing a reading for somebody, and just reiterate too, psychic reading is past, present, and future, life stuff. And then mediumship is tapping into people that have passed.
Okay.
And so sometimes if somebody comes in and they don't know what kind of reading, I just kind of go through and just say, hey, would you like some life information, or do you want to connect with somebody who's passed?
Right. So was that tiny lady from Poltergeist, was she a medium?
I think so.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Caroline.
She's creepy.
Yeah, she was. Was she a medium?
I think so.
It seemed like she talked to dead people.
I think so. Yeah.
Kind of like Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's funny because, like, to think of, like, talking to dead people, it's funny because I don't really talk out loud to them. I'm just asking them questions, like, in my mind. But right. I did want to share, this was pretty cool. I had a recent experience where the person just wanted a life event information. I was talking to her. All of a sudden, I just saw this car. And it felt like the car was going to be gifted to her. And I was telling her, this is so crazy. I said, it feels like there's going to be like the car it's not a car that's going to be given to you. It's like materialistic. And it's going to be shocking that like something like this is going to be given to you. And she's like, so at the end, she's like, hey, that's so crazy that you mentioned the car being given to me, because really, I just started this new job. I work at this studio, and I think the studio is going to be given to me.
The whole studio?
The whole thing. The way they were showing it to me is a car, so that I could say, like, hey, this is going to be gifted to you.
Right, a luxurious gift.
Yeah, like something you would never... I mean, if somebody gave you a car that was, like, in great condition, you'd be like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. And so that was pretty cool. And then right then, at the same time... Oh, I just got chills on my back. At the same time, she kind of looked off screen, because we were on Zoom. She looked off screen, and then all of a sudden, I could see like a wallet being opened and just money like coming in and going out. So it meant like she's as much money as she has going out, it'll always be replenished.
Right.
And I was like, it's so crazy. It's just like money, money, money. And she said, oh my gosh, I literally was just thinking of somebody and their nickname has money in their nickname.
Oh, nice.
And so then it was crazy because, like, she's thinking about that person, and then I tapped into the person.
Right.
Like, the person came to me. And so it was awesome because then psychic reading turns into mediumship reading, and then it just kind of happened. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And then did you ever watch Dr. Oz?
Nope.
No, you're at work. So, Dr. Oz did a study on Teresa Caputo, like on her brain when she's doing a reading. Like he put all these electrodes onto her brain to see like what happens, and it's almost like one part of her brain shuts off to hear spirit, and that's exactly how it feels.
Gotcha.
Like all other, like because you're so totally present that it's like somebody whispering in your ear or somebody just standing here and giving you information, but you have to tap into that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you have any questions about psychic readings or mediumship, or how do you feel about that?
No, I guess, how come some people do the people that do like tarot readings, are they just using the cards to guide them, or do cards give answers, or the same with like scrying or people that do like a crystal ball?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those are just tools to get the answer. And so they're just using that as a tool to get you the answer. Okay. So because if somebody's doing a tarot reading and you shuffle the cards, you're putting your energy and the question into the cards, and then the right cards will be shown to you for that answer.
Gotcha.
And then I think also intuitively they add more information about the card being specific to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so if you're doing a mediumship reading for someone, is there a chance that there more than one person trying to come through?
Yeah.
Like, is there more? And like, how does it? I guess I'm asking, like, obviously they don't just take a number on the other side, but do they know about each other?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because what happens is, so the way it works for me, that's a really good question, is I kind of put up a boundary of a few things. One, don't show me how you died, because I can't unsee that. Two, one at a time, right? Like only one at a time, because there was a practice session I was doing, and like 15 people popped in all at once, and nobody was here for the girl that I was reading for. And then I was like, look, I appreciate all you being here. You got to go. And they literally, it felt like, you know, when you're at a wedding, they all split into like a dance line and then let one more spirit come up. And that was who it was for her.
Nice.
So, yes, they pull people in for you to keep validating. Okay. And so, okay, here's a good example. I was in a practice session with a lady last night. She was doing a reading for me.
Okay.
And she's a high paid medium. Okay. And she is working on getting names. She's having a really hard time getting names. And so I volunteered. She said she just needed 15 or 20 minutes. I get in there. She picked right up on grams, 100%, right on grams. And I thought, this is so perfect, because if there's a name for her to get, like, this is such a fun name for her to get, you know?
Right.
And so she starts talking about grams, her personality, you know, how she's excited about the things that I'm doing, because that's stuff that her and I would talk about. And then she said, do you have 2 kids? And I said, no, I have a daughter. I said, but I did have a miscarriage before her. And she said, oh, she has a little boy baby with her. Like, he's with her. And she's got like a whole cheering team up there, you know? And it's so funny because she said, she is one of your spirit guides, which sounds generic if you're just listening to this and you're like, okay, well, anyone can say that. But here's the thing. I've mentioned on here before about my 6-figure team, right? Like how I call in 6 figures, and it's 6 figures, right? For like, to represent money, but also like spiritual support. Right. And Grams has always been on my spiritual team. Right, on my 6-figure team. And then she's like, yeah, but she's got like a whole cheering section pulled up and, you know, for you. And then she talked about other people that were with her. And so, yes, so there's other people. But also on that same note, any psychic or any medium that you go to, they're tapping into you and your energy now. And it's not like dial a dead person. You know what I mean? Those people are busy, you know? So if we kind of just call on the person, or just call and say, you know, as I say call, it's not a phone, but like if I just put it out there and say, you know, okay, I'm going to have a reading. I have, you know, Jeff Jones here. Like, can somebody just show up and I can let him know who's here for him? And then whoever pops in, that's it.
Right.
So it can be anybody. And so that's why when we do gallery style readings too, we just have, like, if there's 50 people in the room, the medium will pull somebody in, and then it's for one of these 50 people. It should be. It should be. Right. Some people, you know, I had during a practice session where I was reading this kid popped in. He was like a teenager, late teenager, kind of Nirvana shirt, chain, wallet, you know, jeans, stuff. Yep. I started describing this kid, and the girl who was doing the class, so Cindy Kaza, she popped in, didn't know what I was doing, and she was listening to what I was saying, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's for me. But she wasn't even in the room yet. So that was interesting. I had 3 other people in my Zoom room, and then she popped in and just was listening, and it was for her.
Oh.
So he must have known she was going to pop in, you know? Yeah. But there's no set rules. I mean, other than, you know, just come in with an open mind, because if you're closed off, that's going to affect the reading.
Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share that. So if you are interested in being a sitter, it's free. You know, we're probably on there for about an hour. And then, you know, like I said, it's very helpful for them to hone in on their skill.
Nice. And how do they contact you again for that?
Just message me. You can reach out on Facebook, and then I can get you the Zoom information. Or you can email, you know, feelthegenergy@gmail.com and let me know that you're interested. I'll get that to you. Nice. Yeah, because we need some sitters.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, Jeffy, then I want to share the energy and how it affects other people, right? So I told you that I wanted to talk about your house, right? The things that you say. So I found this short little article, and it says, be careful of what you speak inside your house. Okay.
All right.
Why do your face was like, okay,
well,
this
I
sounds
feel like if you're limiting yourself on what you're even saying at your own house, then when are you actually saying what you want to say?
Well, that's the thing. So your space holds energy, right? So like if you go to a prison, the prison's going to hold that energy in the walls, in the bars, of that kind of energy, upset, whatever, anger. And so if you're putting that into the walls of your house, that's what this is saying. So actually the first line says the walls have memories. Some words turn into curses. There are words capable of bringing curses, reinforcing misfortune, evoking misfortune, and attracting unhappiness, as there are others with the luminous property of blessing, attracting prosperity, happiness, harmony, and peace. Knowing how to separate and use one and the other is the beginning of wisdom. The environment in which you live, especially your home, tends to absorb, store, and echo the words of your mental habits and transmute them into living beings on the dark or angelic spectrum, depending on your own emotional atmosphere. So we often have phrases like, there is no money, I'm in desperate need of, why do these things always happen, how difficult life is, I can't, and things like that. So keep in mind those words take the direction that intention and emotions take them.
Right.
So you put it out there and then it's lifted off because of the emotion. Time to refine so light can flow in. Be responsible for your language so you won't be a slave to your words. Blessing instead of cursing. So always avoid making judgments and words that you do not want to materialize in your world. Negative or limiting words cause deficiencies, disease, difficulties, and suffering. Words or expressions of love, gratitude, joy, and beauty attract prosperity, abundance, health, and benefits to all. Remember that the world is constantly created through verb, sounds, vibration, and frequencies. Everything is energy. You decide how you want to use it. Pretty interesting though, huh?
That is. It kind of reminds me of the memory water.
Yeah.
The hate water.
Yeah, that's for sure. They did an experiment with not only water, they did it on rice.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
So they had kids walk by and say, I hate you to the rice. Like second grade, I think it was. And they just like look in the lid and just say, I hate you. And then the I love you rice. And then the I hate you rice grew mold, bacteria. I mean, it was disgusting. And then the I love you rice it stayed fresh. When I was like, then I started asking like, well, did the hate rice only, like, did people not brush their teeth and only speak into the hate rice, or like what happened? I don't know.
That's just crazy.
But here's the other thing. So talking about how energy affects people, if you come home and you're if you're mad, upset, and then you cook food, you're putting that energy into the food. And then you're giving it to your family, and then they've just eaten your shitty attitude.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That ever since crazy. I thought about that weirds me out at restaurants now.
Especially
germs and stuff, I don't care, but like I don't want somebody like having a shitty attitude and put that in my burger. You know?
And I've worked at a number of restaurants and a number of like as a line cook, as a steak cook, as a breakfast cook, and like there are a lot of shitty people. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want that energy in my food. So now I just tell like every day when I go to like eat something, it's almost like, when people do like a little prayer before they eat or whatever, I just put it out there. I'm like, man, this food is sterilized. It's nourishing. You know what I mean? It's going to make my gut feel amazing.
Right?
Yes. I mean,
no, but I have noticed though a lot of times, like especially being on different job sites with a bunch of different types of trades and people, is that if there is one person who is crappy, it definitely affects the overall. Even if I don't have to interact with that guy,
right?
It still inadvertently is affecting my day,
right?
You know what I mean? And vice versa. If you come in and like say I'm working I've seen it go the other way where like my coworker, maybe he's in a shitty mood and we get to the job and then the customer is like overly excited. We're glad we're there and everything's like bippity boppity. Then I've seen it like that change. Like the people I rode there with, like this, all of a sudden the guy I'm working with was like, yeah, let's get this done. Now he's bopping around and it's like, really? Because on the way here, you're kind of being a turd about it. And then all of a sudden, because this guy's all uppity, now you're hippity, and it's like, what?
Right.
But yeah.
That's how it is when people call at work, when they're like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, I'm having a great time. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Like,
yep. What's funny is like I worked with a guy and he was like that. He kind of got shitty on the way to a job. Yeah. And he's even pointed out, he's like, how do you stay positive like every day? I go, you know why? I said, because no matter what, I go, you know what I tell myself in the morning? No matter what, this is over in 12 hours. I said, it does not matter. I go, what we do for the next 12 hours, I don't care if I'm climbing up and down dirty ass machines, grinding stuff off, welding all day. If I'm cleaning sludge out of a pit because we got to do something down there or whatever. I would have no problem because you know what? It's over in 12 hours. At some point, I get to go home and shower and not have to deal with it.
Right.
So I'd rather be doing something.
Choice.
Yeah, I'd rather be doing something and passing the time. The worst jobs I go to are the ones where like we have to wait for a truck to show up to load a machine onto or to unload. Yeah. And we're left sitting there for like sometimes 3 or 4 hours.
Oh man.
That's horrible. I mean, some people be like, oh, it's a good time. No, it's not. When you're sitting there and like you're waiting in a pickup truck with 3 other people hanging out, and 3 of them are sleeping and you're just looking out the window. Yeah. Because you're sitting there with your thermos of coffee.
Time stopped.
Right?
Yeah.
But then
what kind of energy you putting out there when that happens?
Right. And and what sucks too is me being the one who's awake looking out the window is I know that when this truck gets here, they're all going to be like, more time. And they were, but it's like, whatever. It is what it is, but I could also spend my day just busting ass and getting stuff done and
making it happen.
Not having to come back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we finished this job today. So instead of dragging it out.
Yeah, that's why I want to share it about the food too, is because I really wanted to share that, especially for parents, if they're like giving your kids food at home and like you're all mad about it and you put your anger in the food, then it affects the kid and then you're mad because they're mad and then it's just a spiral. So like if you just fixed it from the time of, get home, what we used to do is we just like touch a tree before we come in the house. We would just put all out the whole day's bullshit out on the tree. The tree can take it, transmute it into the ground. You can have it, but then when you come in the house, like you start fresh with your family.
Right.
That's not fair to them. They didn't do it.
No. No, I definitely don't come home usually. I usually don't come home in a shitty mood because like you said, they have no idea what kind of day I've had. So if I walk in the door and act like, it's just another day.
Yeah.
Then that's how, you know what I mean? Then great. Then it's easier for me to forget about the crappy day I did.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not the one to come in the door and be like, oh, listen to this. Yeah. That's not me. Right. You know what I mean? Because I've already had the drive home. I've already forgot about it. Yeah. I've already moved on, figuring out what am I supposed to be doing tonight? How much time do I have? What do I still have to get done? That by the time I walk in
my laptop in.
Right. So you can ask anybody in our house, like 10 out of 10 times I come in the door. If anybody happens to be like, oh, how'd your day go? It was good. Not bad at all. Yeah. Regardless of what kind of day I have.
Yeah.
Because it's not, what am I going to do? Sit here and bitch about it some more?
Yeah.
So I can keep living that same day that I just tried to get done with? No, I'm already moved on. I'm ready to watch something on Netflix or write something or do whatever. I got to go break leaves or whatever. You know what I mean? I've already moved on.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I hear that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yep.
And it's easy, and it really is a choice.
It is.
I mean, that's just it. You just have to make a different choice.
Right. And I want to reiterate, I'm not lying to my family when I tell them, like, oh, my day was all right. You know what I mean? Because at that time, it is going all right. But,
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time you should be like, well, I boot, scoot, and boogied at work today.
Right.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
New boot goofing.
Yeah,
I've been new boot goofing for a week now.
Oh, my God. Oh, just real quick. What about the end of that episode last week with Meatloaf again? I mean, I had to put that in there. I was
I've seen you put that in there.
I was scream laughing at the end. Like, I hope people stick around because that was so stupid. You singing into your mug.
Oh, yeah.
So if you missed it and you want to listen to Jeff Jones karaoke Meatloaf, and I'm not talking about food Meatloaf. I'm talking about the singer.
Yeah, the singer.
He doesn't even
you remember him in Rocky Horror? No, I don't like ketchup. I don't even like the food. I like the singer. Remember him in Rocky Horror?
I've never seen it.
Oh, no, he played Eddie?
Yeah.
You've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I have not.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. What am I doing in my life?
You want to hear something I was kind of proud of, though? Is like probably the past 2 weeks, both my kids are into Pink Floyd, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so now there's just been like an overabundance. Like, I like coming in the door or coming upstairs and like somebody is playing Pink Floyd in their room.
Yeah.
Even when you hear it real quiet, like Griff's in the shower but he has it going on the Alexa.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And it got to the point, which was awesome, was that Griff fixed my CD player in my car.
Oh,
and when
sweet.
I got in, but in case the CD player didn't work when he fixed it, he put me in both of his discs of the wall. So that if worst case scenario, they're going to get stuck in there, at least I have the double disc album of The Wall to listen to on CD.
Yeah.
I thought he even pointed that out. I go, that's a good choice, buddy. Good choice. Luckily, they do come out.
Right.
But yeah, he fixed my CD player and I got Pink Floyd in my car.
Nice.
Because he said he had 2 of them.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yep.
Papa would be proud.
He would be.
All right. Well, join us next week when we'll have an episode of The Ron Table.
Oh, that's right. The Ron Table. November. Ron's
Table. We were on there.
We were on there.
He's like, yeah, welcome to Ron Table. This guy. Oh, man.
All right.
Well, see you again next week.
All right. Have a good one.